Aldrich was identified through DNA. You might remember that last year the Vermont legislature passed the sweeping Global Warming Solutions Act, and one of its main components was the creation of the Vermont Climate Council. The 23-member group has been meeting for about 6 months now, and today we got a sense of what its final climate action plan could look like. State House reporter Devin Bates is live in the newsroom tonight with a look at all the details. Hi, Devin.
Yeah, Lauren, the Climate Council has a lot on its plate, from figuring out how to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the short term to mapping out how Vermont can become a net zero state by 2050. At this stage, it's not quite clear how we'll get there, but Agency of Natural Resources Secretary Julie Moore said a goal of that magnitude means wholesale changes in how we go about our daily lives.
We know that a lot of the work that's going to be required to achieve our greenhouse gas emissions reduction goals, whether it's in the transportation sector or the building heat sector, is really going to require changes in individual behavior. And so it's essential that we get broad buy-in from the public as we are beginning this work.
Vermont's Global Warming Solutions Act is a legally binding document that spells out all the emission reduction targets Vermont has to hit over the course of the next 3 decades. The first being a 26% cut from 2005 levels by 2025. So how do you do it? Well, that's what the Vermont Climate Council is working on, but Secretary Moore had some examples of what it could take.
The most recent report from the Energy Action Network suggests that we need north of 40,000 electric vehicles on the road by 2025, which is a 10-fold increase from where we sit right now. We're also only at about 1/5 of the charging infrastructure we need, publicly available charging infrastructure we need. There's an enormous amount of work that needs to take place in this space.
There's a bill working its way through the legislature to ramp up the electric vehicle incentive program. Vermonters who make less than $50,000 a year would get $3,000 for switching to a hybrid, or $4,000 for going fully electric. Meanwhile, Vermont is monitoring, but not yet participating, in a multi-state transportation and climate initiative that establishes a cap on carbon dioxide emissions and charges fuel suppliers who go over it. Some believe that money could be the fuel Vermont needs to eventually ditch fuel altogether.
I think it's important to really say TCI is not a carbon tax. It has another policy tool to it that says this is as far as you can go, and that cap piece is really critical.
If TCI does move forward, Vermont could have the ability to, shape where those dollars go and to direct them to more rural places or to places who carry a greater energy burden.
It's all fair game for the Climate Council to consider as they delve into a busy summer, which begins with a public feedback process, followed by a closer analysis of how any future eco-friendly changes would impact sectors like transportation, construction, and agriculture.
It'll mean for a busy fall when we come back in September and attempt to put together the complete climate action plan, trying to understand what each policy and strategy will cost and mean on the ground for Vermonters.
There's a virtual public hearing about climate change in Vermont with Secretary Moore next Tuesday. If you have any thoughts about where this council is heading, they're due to have a final climate action plan ready by December 1st. Live in the newsroom tonight, Devin Bates, Local 22 News.
Thank you, Devin.